So we're gonna have the same problem we had last week, and that is it's too much wind out here. So what I'm gonna do is take the umbrella part down. There we go. All right. I think what I can do. So we had this problem last week because we have just been having so much wind here in the Naples area that it's like just craziness. So around the umbrella part of the strap. Right. Just bear with me for a sec here, guys. Perfect. Whew. Now, without the umbrella, I'm gonna have to put the old sunglasses on. The reason I had to take the umbrella down was because we have winds that are like 5 to 20 miles per hour here. And last Saturday I had the same thing. I'm not sure what's going on. It's like, you have the winds of spring, and we're, almost into summer here. And it's these gusts coming through. Matter of fact, we had our first red alert here in the southwest Florida area. And a red alert means don't do open fires, don't do stuff that could cause a fire, because it's beautiful. I mean, I can't complain about the weather and the scenery, right? Who could complain about this? And clear blue skies today. I mean, everywhere you look, it's just, I can't see a cloud in the sky, except along the horizon. You can see those little things going on there. But the humidity's down, which is what we love here in Southwest Florida, because usually this time of year you get the higher humidity and, the heat of the sun. I mean, it gets hot and everything, but it's been cooler temperatures, lower humidity. But we got these gusts of wind, so I'm not sure it's climate change. That's what's happening. Yes, what Al Gore said was true. Everything's changing. I don't know what it is, but this year has been different from other years. So trying with the Tommy Bahamas umbrella, I'm just gonna have to bear the South Florida sun, and that's the way it's gonna be. How are you doing today? Hopefully your day is going great. My day is going super fine. I had a little change to my normal sleeping yesterday. I try to get to sleep, my routine, and in 2020, if it didn't teach me anything else, it taught me to use systems and routines. And let me scooch a little bit closer to you just so you can hear, because I hear the waves there pretty strong in the background. So I have certain routines that I've put in place in my life that have really benefited me. And of course, that's the reason why you make routines benefit yourself, unless you're working for somebody else and they want a routine, right? So these routines, because I didn't have any in my life before. I mean, you get out your whiteboard and you pencil down, breakfast and lunch and this and work here and do this and make sure you go to the post office and do these chores. But I never really had something that was so important to me, or I made it important to me, so disciplined that, I found apps to help me out that would send little notifications and little songs or a little voice saying something to my phone, because I got my phone in my hand always. So if you ever DM me, I'll answer back like immediately. This way I am, because I work in social media, and I'm a social media manager, social media marketing. Excuse me. And that thing's in my hand not 24/7, but almost. So I have this routine at nighttime to like start winding down around, I don't know, 8:30-ish, 9 o'clock comes. I usually put all the devices and stuff away and I try to get into reading. 10 o'clock, I should be in bed and trying to sleep, right? One thing that's helped a lot is my daughter, Rachel, who lives with me here at the condo here in Naples, Florida. That's where I'm broadcasting from. My name's Dave Jackson. I'm not sure if we've never met. That's me. And just a little brief update on me. In April, which was last month, I was diagnosed with cancer. And but before that, I was diagnosed that I had tumors around my gallbladder area and the biliary, the bile ducts, And from that day, I did some research. I want to find out, how do you make tumors go away? So I get out Dr. Google and go Googling around and found out that the way that you make that happen is with dietary stuff. You can help with your diet, which hand in hand with conventional therapies for cancer, these work. And it's something I stumbled upon when I was reading some crazy stuff about Jordan Platten, and he's a philosopher from Canada, and he's just I kind of liked his interviews and stuff like that. And then come to find out, he started talking in one of his interviews about diet, and I went to go see, his daughter has a special diet. So I put that in Google. And then below that, how the entries below that, sometimes it pops up different stuff, and it popped up about the ketogenic diet, especially the nutritional ketogenic or the therapeutic ketogenic diet that helps cut down on tumor growth. It starves tumors, it starves cancers, and man, I just went crazy. I go, man, if this is true, this is something that could really, really help me. Because when you put out the word that you have something, as big as this, what normally happens is you get 5,000 different therapies thrown at you. You should have done what Martha did down in Mexico. She got this therapy where they were doing colonics and, drinking berry juice and, all that kind of stuff. So I happened upon this and started reading books on it, got lots of books on it. And then on Twitter, I started finding that there is just such a wealth and such a great family of Twitter people that are all into this, not only for cancer, but for all kinds of different metabolic diseases such as diabetes and, losing weight to be healthy and get your body back where it should be again. I had no idea that, I thought, and I bet anything, tons of people think this way too, is that keto is sort of like Atkins, sort of like South Beach, sort of like, all these fad diets you hear about. Because, and the problem isn't with you guys that are proponents of the ketogenic diet or that, are trying to help people. For the most part, it's these guys that market it in such a way that it sounds like, it's phony. Because it's just like spammers, Remember when, well, they still do it, but when email became a thing back in the day, how much spam we get, how much stuff we get from some Nigerian king had died and, he left $15 million in gold bullion. And if you help me get this out of the country, I'll give you some of it. It's sort of like that. It's like, keto, oh gosh, that must be just another kind of thing. And I had heard, and I love Tim Ferriss, and I love listening to his podcast. He was talking with somebody about, and I think he was doing it too, ingesting ketones. And I thought, this has just got to be for either the radical people or people who, can afford this, because who knows, it may be expensive to do, so whatever. I just thought that the keto diet was just for, either it was some crazy fad or it was for people that, and for people that, did it for some kind of experimentation. But for me, I wanted to find like a resolution for myself and for what was going on in my body. And man, I started reading and I go, that's me, I can do this. So on March 14th, I changed my diet radically and went to this, what I call therapeutic keto diet. And let me put the camera down a little bit so you can see a little bit part of the beach anyway that's going on there. Here we go. Now, if you want to know the operation here, I just got this on the umbrella pole with a tripod mount from Archon. They make tremendously great mounts for iPhone, for phones. I'm using an iPhone mini and using a 5G connection here on the beach, and it's just incredible. So that's my story about the sleeping thing. I went a little bit past the 10:30 mark. The other thing, my daughter, I was going to tell you about that. She said, Dad, you should take melatonin. Now, my sleep guru guy is Matthew Ward. I have his book and the science, I think it's called Science of Sleeping or something like that, or something to do. Anyway, he's a sleep guru. This guy is just so good. If you have not heard about his work, one really good way to listen to it while you're washing the dishes or doing whatever you're doing is to get on Peter Attia's podcast, and he interviews Matthew. It's a two-parter because there's just so much doggone information with sleep. But one of the questions to him was, is melatonin bad for you? Because a lot of people take melatonin. And the answer was, no, it's not. You can take melatonin. Now, melatonin is something that you take. What it does, it's something man-made thing that produces a hormone that's within you. But I mean, the pills make it, okay? It's not like you take an injection of melatonin. It's in pills. My dosage, I was taking 5, I think. My dose is up to 10 milligrams. But that's probably tops. You shouldn't be taking more than that. But the thing is, you gotta rotate this stuff. So you take it for a few weeks and then stop. Let your body recover. It's just like anything else. But anyway, I take that stuff, and as soon as you take it, the theory behind it is not theory, because it actually works, is that, as soon as you take it, it signals the brain that it's time to sleep. The lights are out. It's time to go to bed right now, and it works. All right. I wanted to talk to you today about stuff I've been researching through this week, because this is a journey about, me trying to figure out stuff. And you guys have been very helpful. I'm telling you, the community out there has, without your help in a lot of this research that I do, I mean, you can dig, and there are places on the internet that you can get a lot of this stuff. But there's still a lot of documentation that people have, or, they tell you, because sometimes you'll look at a document and it's hard to tell on face, judging the book from its cover. And that applies to a lot of people steer me toward YouTube videos or doctors on YouTube and say, you should listen to this video because he talks about that. You would have never known by just looking at the little, the little thumbnail of the video, or even in the description, that the guy's going to end up talking about fasting or something like that. But he does, right? And then he's somebody that's really good to follow, usually on YouTube or Twitter. So I've been studying about fasting. Really appreciate the input from everybody. Here is my take on fasting. I know the opinions out there are so varied, but the reason that I'm doing it is because I'm doing it for me. You have to come down to that part of it. It's you don't do it because it's a fad or because everybody else is doing it. What you have to do, and I think one of the most critical things in self-healing, or getting a healing in your body, I'm not worried. I am worried about other people, but I gotta be like me first type thing. That's the whole mentality you should have, is because if you're not good enough, healthy enough to be a good you, then you're going to have trouble helping other people, especially if you're just like dragging and your health is going down and you're not improving. So do things that improve your health and notice that. Another thing is you should use your intuition. I mean, we're given this because it's valuable to us and will, get us out of a lot of trouble most of the time, or all of the time, if you follow your intuition. So when you hear about a fast, you shouldn't think I'm going to do it for 4 days and publish stuff. I mean, there's two views I have on this. First of all, to do a fast, think of it for you and all the benefits it's going to bring you, because there's just tremendous benefits in fasting. There's a lot of benefits in fasting, and people that say that fasting is stupid or that you don't need to fast have not studied enough the scientific proof that it's really good for your system. I believe that tribal people from thousands, millions of years ago had to go through fast, and it actually improved their health. That's just the cycle that they went through. And today we have this cycle of continuously eating every 3 or 4 hours, like grazing through the day, and then getting done with that. And we're still like watching TV at 9:30 and like munching on something. And I've seen this in my own family. Sometimes we have these family Zoom calls, and to accommodate everybody, they're normally done later at night. And I see people with the TV on while we're doing the Zoom, and they're like eating some big something and sleeping on that. But anyway, that's another subject. But remember, you first. Follow your intuition. So if you think this thing is going to be beneficial to you or good for you, go for it, right? Remember that it's not for show. You're not showing off to anybody. You're not going to do like a 4 or 5 day fast or a 3 day fast or whatever you can do, and then because so and so did it, and you want to like one up them or something like that. It's for your health. This is the reason why we do it. Now, if you want to post like on your Facebook or your Twitter account, or even make little YouTube videos of day 1, day 2, what I went through. I mean, that's a lot of the reason why sometimes I'll post, today's going to be a video, you've seen them on my feed here. Today's going to be a video of all the stuff I have to do today, so come with me, and it's fun. And it's something you could do if you're fasting and say, here's what I experienced day 1 fasting. The reason why you want to do that is because it will keep you accountable. And the reason you want to be accountable is because fasting is not an easy thing to do. If you've ever done a fast, you know that. Day 1 is just like, gosh, I wish I could eat something and still be in fasting, And I know there's different types of fasts. There's water fasts, where you just do water and your electrolytes, the snake juice as they call it, right? And then there are other fasts that are like juice fasts. You just do, juicing. It's like a food fast. I mean, you're actually ingesting food. It's not really a fast that's going to help you in any other way than to give your tummy a break. That's the reason why there's different fasts. Some fasts actually reset the whole body. And then there are fasts that just like, give different parts of your body a break, right? So think about what fast you're going to do, and then hold yourself accountable. I mean, tell somebody that you're doing it, and then have them, like check up on me, so they'll ask you, hey, how's it going today? And then the other thing is, and make sure you stay hydrated, because that's probably the most important thing on a fast, is like making sure that you're drinking water, right? Or your juice or whatever. And then the electrolytes are super important too. Make sure you look up, and I got a video on it, the snake juice, which is normally potassium chloride and baking soda and some Himalayan salt in water. Get that in you in the amount you should. And if you want to know quickly, I think it's 1 tablespoon of potassium chloride, a half a tablespoon of baking soda, and a 1/4 tablespoon of the Himalayan salt in whatever you can drink it in. You know, if you want to put it in a big glass, go ahead. For me, I just put it in like a 12 ounce or 16 ounce glass because I think the baking soda makes it taste a little disgusting. You know, I can handle the potassium because it tastes, even though it's a type of salt, right? I think so. It tastes salty. It tastes like you're drinking salt. But when you put the baking soda in there, it gives it sort of a organic taste to it. You know, like it's living or it's, you know, whatever. So anyway, just hold your nose and drink this stuff down because your body needs it. Okay. Now here's another critical thing I found with fasting. Is at the end of day 1 or the end of day 2 or, you know, throughout day 2 till you get to day 3. When you're in day 3, you could probably fast for 5 days, 6, 7. You could keep going because your body's like, okay, we're in this now. But those first 2 days, and for some people the first 3 days, the fasting is especially hard. And what you'll tend to do, because we're humans and we all do this, is you'll look for loopholes, right? You'll start Googling stuff like, will I break my fast if I drink this or if I eat this? And one of the things, I caught myself doing it the other day too, is like, will I break my fast if I use MCT oil in my coffee? And there are videos out there, there's tons of stuff where people say, well, not really. You know, there's not like a solid yes or no. Some people say no, some people say yes, but you know, there's not a consensus. Like sometimes you look up something that, you know, will this take me out of ketosis or will this put me into, you know, and the answer is always like yes, 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 or no, 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 or don't do that. But on MCT oil, which the reason why people are not sure about this is because MCT oil bypasses everything, goes straight to your liver and turns right into ketones almost, you know, almost. It's a beautiful food, right? And it doesn't have to be digested, it just goes there. So the thinking is it's not going to take me out of ketosis or out of fast, because fasting is no food, and it's not really a food, but it really is, you know. So and then if you allow you to creep there, okay, what do? We just lose. No, I see. Sorry, my screen is just going crazy here because it's so bright out here. Right, I think I still have you guys. I'm not sure. Yes. All right. Sorry about that. My screen is just going nuts here because of the sunlight. I can just barely see the screen, but I think I'm still broadcasting. Okay, good. I'll just keep going. But I do wish it was as bright as it was before. Let me see if I can fix that in any way, because that's like disturbing a little bit. Maybe I can see. You guys see the ocean there? Isn't that cool? All right. I just can't see very. I wonder if I can take. I don't want to mess anything up though. All right, I'm just gonna keep going and hope. But yeah, right about there, right, guys? But the thing is, if I put the umbrella up where there's shade, the wind it makes the umbrella, you know how typically an umbrella is like this, the umbrella goes like that, you know, and then just starts rocking back and forth. Check out last week, I let it go, you know, and I'm like just all over the place. So I'm just gonna let this go because I've been doing these for a while and the phone never shuts down, so I just can't see the screen you know, on these iPhones, if it gets in a very bright situation, it'll dim the screen. So, which if you're trying to read the screen, it should get a little bit brighter, but it's assuming that, you know, you have, I don't know how it assumes, but at nighttime the screen gets, you know, brighter, so you can, I don't know, how does that work? Anyway, let's get back to fasting. If you give yourself an inch, right? Like say, okay, I'm doing the MCT, maybe if, you know, and then you start, don't do that. Don't even go to Google. Just don't do it. Because what you'll do is you end up sabotaging your fast. And then you'll have to start over. And then you'll have to go through that day one all over again, right? And just don't do it. I mean, become so disciplined that you're going to do that, you're going to commit to start at a certain time and stop at a certain time, okay? The best way to do this is to remember that you're doing the fast for you. You're not doing this fast for anybody else. You're not doing it for your family. You're not doing it for your dog. You're not doing it for anybody but you. This fast is your fast. It's for your health. It's important. It's critical. It's going to help you. You have to get that in your head, that the reasons that you're doing this fast. I mean, it's serious stuff, right? This is just as critical as if you go that way with conventional medicine as taking that pill, And where they tell you don't skip a pill in the sequence there. This is something that you don't want to screw up, and you don't want to. And the way that our human brains work is that we want to find like little loopholes. We want to find like ways. And then what happens is, I talk about this in almost every video. It's a slippery slope. We go down that slippery slope, and then we find ourselves sabotaging and just destroying what we started out to do. And what that does is it sticks in your brain something that you can't do it. Like, I tried that and I couldn't do it. I couldn't even get through day one. So when you begin this, if you haven't done one yet, and if you have, congratulations to you, because they're tough. If you do start one, just commit to it. I mean, say, I'm going to do what Dave said. I'm not going to go there even with all the propaganda and with the thoughts running through my mind. I wonder if just having a bite of this would take me out of my fast. There are people, and I shouldn't even be saying this because this is like putting a billboard of French fries in front of your face or something, right? There are people out there that say that you can, consume a certain amount of calories and still be in fast. Your body will think you're in fasting, but I don't want that. I want be 100% fast, have my water going, water that tastes good. What's the water I use? I mean, this is, it's good stuff. LaCroix water, and then bulk up on that, and then I get it at Costco. My electrolytes, make sure you drink those, and you're good. Your body will want stuff. Yes, that's just the way our body is, but don't give it the opportunity, okay? Focus. And remember, at the end of this crazy thing, you're going to have reap massive benefits that are in fasting. And if you don't know those, a few of them are that after so many hours, your body starts into, I think they call it autophagy, where your body starts getting rid of the dead cells and starts regenerating. Your immune system starts resetting. Stem cells in your body start doing great things. A lot of great things happen. Just do that kind of research, right? The kind that I've done, and look for the benefits of fasting and how it can help you. I don't know if you remember, back in the day, they did some experiments. Back in the day, I talked about, I think it was in the 70s even, when I was a little kid, they were doing these experiments on laboratory mice where they were fasting them, and they had tumors, right? And the tumors actually shrunk. So, I mean, they came up with this theory is that maybe fasting, maybe taking away food, starves cancers too, and it does. So if you have any kind of metabolic disease, I would suggest that you schedule these fasts, The reason I'm doing this fast now is because I have my very first chemotherapy session coming up on Tuesday, this Tuesday. And one of the things about fasting is that if you're fasting before chemotherapy, it mitigates some of those side effects of the chemotherapy, which are like, nausea and all kinds of crazy things that happen. There have been stories, there's lots of them. This is one of those things that I went on Google and studied, and all the answers were the same. It was all yes. Should you do a fast before your chemo? Yes, yes, yes. How many hours? Everybody, 72 hours minimum. That's 3 days fast, So, I mean, there's the answer. You can take it. And I love that kind of study where there's no like discrepancies. You got like your solid answer. Everybody is in consensus, on both sides, on all sides, on whatever, that this is going to be beneficial. So I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So another thing I want to talk to you guys about today is, this deal about, I just watched this movie called Heal from 2017. And it talks about the power of the mind. And early on, and I have not been diagnosed very long, you guys know, it's just been weeks. But I mean, your mind does really crazy things if left alone. You like go to, especially if you are alone, you start thinking about, the future. Do you have a future? I was one who, when I found out the name of my cancer, the technical name of it, it took me, I don't know, probably a week before I actually Googled any information about it because I didn't want to know, I think that there's certain stuff that's just better not knowing because the way our mind works, Because if you see, like, statistically, the kind of cancer that you have, you're going to die in 6 months. I mean, what do you think your mind's going to do with that, I mean, we're human. And if you're alone and don't have, like, people around you and that kind of thing that can distract you and get you into, like, maybe a positive type vibe, if you have those sort of people around you, your mind will just start going, like, to, right there, like, yeah, you're going to be dead in 6 months. And what have you done, to deserve all this or whatever. So I didn't do that because I know myself. But I really thought this movie was fascinating. Some of you I know will look at this and with a scientific eye and say, all that's nice and everything, but we still need I believe we still need all the medicine, the conventional stuff. And we need the diet therapies and the diet protocols. We need all that stuff too. But if you go into either one of those with a mind or thinking that either they're not going to work for me, or that I'm not going to make it through this, or, I'm giving up, or maybe this will help me live past 6 months, who knows? If you go in there with a super negative mindset, I mean, that really, you can ask any doctor, medical doctor, I don't care if they don't believe in keto, a therapeutic keto diet, or if they don't believe, if all they believe in is just their conventional medicine. And nurses too, and registered dietitians, anybody will tell you that works, and any professionals that work with people who have like some heavy duty disease going on in their body. If their mind is like, I'm giving up and I don't really, I'm just, this is horrible that it hit me, chose me, and, I just better start preparing my stuff. I can tell you that they believe that that's just like going to hamper. It's a big wrench thrown into the mechanics of what they're trying to do, is to have you live longer. So it is a real thing. No matter who you are, your mindset has a lot to do with what's going to happen with you. I remember here in Naples, there was one of my neighbors, elderly. She went to the hospital here, had some heart work, surgery on her heart. And in this surgery, and this was a while ago, maybe 12 years ago, but still they used some kind of a sophisticated surgical machine that actually, the machine did some of the surgery. Sounds crazy, right? And what had happened is the machine at one point put too much down pressure on her heart. That's why we sign release forms, right? At the hospital. So then she was in the hospital for a long time, trying to recover from the machine thing. And then she started going downhill, and just, I went and visited her, and she seemed in good spirits for like a long time. And then that started happening, and then she did pass away. And I had the opportunity to talk to one of her nurses, and she just said, she just didn't have the desire to live anymore, And that's when I started thinking about this whole thing about mindset, is that if you get to the place where, you don't want to carry on anymore, then that's exactly what's going to happen with you, is you just, the body will follow suit. The body's going to do what you want it to do. And that works both ways. So what I want to ask you guys is, if that is a truth, right, that it works that way, isn't it also a truth that if you get into the mindset of that, I know my body wants to be in a healthy state. I was born in a healthy state. Not everybody's born in a healthy state, but my body was born this way. But even if you're not born in a healthy state, like you're born with some condition, your body still wants to be in a perfect state, and it will work that way. If we give it the opportunity to, it will like do everything it can to get into that state. And I think it's so critical. That's why this movie to me was just, I gotta watch the movie again and take notes, because there was so much information about how mindset is so crazy powerful. They had like documented cases of so many people and so many different and so many crazy critical diseases, like stuff I have, that were like cured without any kind of, just cured because of the way the mind went, like, doing like energetic healing, Reiki, all these different healings that are available. Kept going back and doing the PET scans and stuff, and then seeing that the tumor was actually just going away, that plus the dietary, So let me read you off. What they did is they compiled amongst thousands, and they had the money to do it because the backer of this movie is a billionaire. So it's called Heal. It was made in 2017, because there's different Heal movies out there. This one's the one that was made in 2017, and it's narrated by, I forget the name of the gal, but she's like an actress type, presenter type person, and she's married to the billionaire that he provided all the money for this thing. Okay, so of the thousands of entries here, I'm going to read you 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 of them here, okay? And listen to them, and of the things that they had people write down. Okay, tell us what you think is the thing that the body, through the body can come to like a cure. What makes or not a cure, but what makes the body heal itself? What are things that you think need to be done, for the body to heal itself? First one is radically change. Okay, so out of those thousands of entries, these 9 were consistent. These 9 were the top 9 that were consistent among everybody. So that's why they compiled this list of 9, is because they want you to see that there was some common thoughts, happening among people that had healings, or that practiced healing and dealt with people who, had been healed. Radically change your diet. Take control of your health. Like if you start having a disease like me, right? Take control of your health. It was before, it was like, let's go out and have a pizza. Let's go out and not even thinking. A lot of times we use food for pleasure. It's fun. And instead of thinking, you got it, all this is concentrating on my health. Follow your intuition. Mentioned that before, right? Intuition is super powerful. Use herbs and supplements. Release suppressed emotions. I thought that was a powerful one. Increase positive emotions. Very good. I like that one. Embrace social support. And a lot of people I know, when they find out they have a wake-up call in their life, which, you know, it is, with a disease, is that they'll crawl into this like cave and like cut off from social, right? Don't be around people, maybe because they're embarrassed or they don't want people start, gossiping about what they're doing, whatever. Deepening spiritual connection. Interesting one. And then have a strong reason for living. And I thought that was probably the most important one, because like I said, when I found out about this disease, or, that it was a tumor back in March, you start thinking about stuff, and then, you're waiting for your prognosis, and you're waiting for them to tell you, okay, is it cancer or what is it? And, is it, how bad is it? And it's just, that waiting period is like crazy. But you start putting off life, the things that you had planned, the things that you wanted to do back in the day. You start like thinking, I got to concentrate on my health now. I got to do this. And those dreams maybe never get to them, But you can't do that. You got to have a strong reason for living. You got to keep living, keep expressing those dreams. So the interesting thing is, on this list of 9 things, is that every single one of them, except 2, are mindset, things that are done with the mind. 2 of them have to do with physical stuff, use the herbs and supplements and change your diet. Everything else, release suppressed emotions, increase positive emotions, embrace social, deepening your spiritual, have a strong, all this is like having to do with your mind and, the power of the mind. And it's just so crazy powerful. We know that placebo effect, that works. We've proven that like time and again, that placebos work and nocebos work as well. So if you have hold in your mind some like negative thing, you're going to get that kind of results back in your body too. So let's see where we are on time, because I can't see the screen. Got like 20 more minutes to go here. So that part, the negative and the positive of it, I know I've been just talking about the positive side of it, how it's so important to have these positive emotions running in your brain, and that knowing that you can overcome stuff, even in diet. If you're obese and you're trying to get those pounds off, if you're not mentally where you need to be, it's not going to happen for you. If you keep on sabotaging that too, telling yourself, I can't do this. I've tried, I failed. I tried diets, not sustainable. I just, it's just something I can't do, or it doesn't work for me, or, you don't get to a place where you have a positive thing that you can anchor in your brain and saying, yes, I can do this. There are other people that have done this. There are other people that have had healings. There are other people that have had cures. There are other people that have had the same exact disease, maybe even worse than I have it, and have lived a normal life until they died of a heart attack or some other kind of thing that had nothing to do with cancer, So it's all totally possible. We know it is, right? So why do we and it's just a human thing, why do we go down that vortex of just but that was for them, me, this is the way, I feel. And yeah, it's just bad stuff. So I want to tell you that the negative side is just as powerful, if not more. I don't know if they've ever measured this, but it can be just as bad as being, as the positive side. They're just things that, your mind will do what you tell it to do. and to know that we have that capability, like with the placebo stuff, right? I mean, they give certain people medicine, and the other people think they've gotten the medicine too, and the body replicates whatever pharmaceutical thing that they're taking in their own body, and it causes like the need to be, the inflammation to go down and to have the same like exact results that the person that took the medication that actually did work, but through chemicals. I mean, it's just incredible. Your body is just such an incredible thing. Yesterday, I took a walk along the beach here, and there is one of the apps I use for my meditation, and I think this is a big thing with healing and getting your mind out of that monkey mind, I call it, and others have called it that too, is where you're just like going nuts with your thinking, is to calm the mind and to start thinking on better stuff. Like I think there's a verse in the good old book that says, whatsoever things are like of good report, think on these things, And it's important to think on good things. So Insight Timer is the name of the app. It's a great meditation app. And it's free. There are paid things in the app as well. And if you want to go there, usually the paid version of apps, at least the ones I recommend, it's worth like upgrading. But I just use the free version. And what I did yesterday is, I knew that I needed to get out and get some exercise. And I love walking along this thing because, if you can see here, it's just a beautiful beach to do that kind of thing on, to just walk and enjoy the beach and the walking. And I had my headphones on, and I selected, and you can just use bells if you want, or you can have, like, sometimes I'll do a 20-minute meditation with nothing going on in the background. I just wait for the bell at the 20-minute mark that tells me my 20 minutes of meditation is over. But you can do like these guided meditations on here too. And what I did is I put one in there. I put forget the word. I think I just put the word cancer in there, right? And I said I want to walk like at least a half an hour. So this thing was like 28 minutes. So it was like perfect, right? And this lady had this beautiful guided meditation along with the music. It was very calming. And she was like telling you the words to say, to repeat after her, and to imagine those cells becoming normal cells again, because all your cells in your body want to be healthy and normal. And for these cells that are like all screwed up, to like love them too. It's part of life, and it's like, what's happening in your life. And anyway, you have to get on if you want to use that for meditation for if you have any types of cancer. I just thought that was, I will do a video on that, because there's another one too that is crazy good. Is about, I think this is pointing at me, is about chemotherapy, when you get your chemotherapy. And it's another one that's like 30 minutes long. And I'll tell you what I'm doing here. I do have a little problem sometimes with these flies on the beach. I'm not sure where they are coming from. They're just normal stuff. But I bought this, and sometimes I don't buy these things because I'm thinking they have tons of chemicals in them, right? But this doesn't. It has what they're using over in Europe right now, which is menthone 3.8 diol. It's plant-based, and it's supposed to repel these guys. but I don't see it doing it. They keep coming back, so maybe you have to put it on thick. Or maybe the flies know what that is, and they've like mutated and start liking it, right? What I thought was so cool about this cancer, or this chemo meditation was, I think the first, it's 30 minutes, right? So like the first 12 minutes of it, the guy's like taking you through, like trying to get you into where you're sitting by whatever you have in your mind is the most beautiful place, and this calm water, and you see your reflection in it, you know, and all this. And then I thought, okay, that's really cool, but I mean, is he going to talk about chemotherapy at all or whatever? And he does, and it's just really cool the way he like eases into it. He says, imagine the medicine, he calls it the medicine coming into your body and only affecting the bad cells, leaving your good cells, your healthy cells in place, and getting those bad cells and like taking them out of their body, you know. And it's like, oh, I thought, man, this is really cool. So what I'm going to do Tuesday is, you know, grab this meditation, because you can bookmark these meditations, and it's free. The way it's really cool on this app is because after you listen to this meditation, so I listened to that on the way back, you know, I thought, oh, let's get one up for chemo and see if there's one there, and there's numerous ones, but that's the one I selected. You can like make a donation to the guy, you know, after you listen to his meditation. And I suppose that's the way the guy, like, you know, monetizes at least part of what he's doing in life. So I thought that was really good. I think meditation is great for you. It's just tremendously helped me. It's in my routine. It's part of my routine. I got it down there for twice daily. I do it once in the morning and once pretty close to when that, you know, wind down period happens for me. So that's how important I think it is. When you see the benefit, especially like from the fasting thing we talked about earlier, when you start seeing the benefit from some of these things, you want to do them more often, right? It's like medicine, or I hate saying that word because I got this dislike for medicine, right? Or for medications like pharmaceuticals. But anyway, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about marketing. Let me see where my time's at since I can't see the screen. 52. My whole background, I told you a little bit on Twitter that my background was in broadcasting. I was in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. I started my radio and television career down in Brazil, actually, and recording. I produced 3 albums down there. Did a lot of stuff. That was my passion, my love, you know, is audio, video, you know, that kind of stuff. Although not so much the audio part of the video, you know, although composing I can do pretty well. It's just, there's, you know, and I like these visuals, you know, that's why I do this at the beach, because I think it's just nice, calming, you know. And I'm trying to think, you know, what would they like? What would you guys like, right? So I did that, and then when I went to the United States, got immediately into, I was in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, started at a smaller radio station, got onto some of the bigger ones there. That was during the late 70s, early 80s, all the way into the 90s, when we all kind of went to news talk was like a big thing. So I got into having a talk show, and I had just lots of cool guests on. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dr. Joyce Brothers. I don't know if you remember her. She's been gone for a while. But, you know, a lot of these people that had books that they were like trying to, you know, get people to read and get their word out on them. It was just so fun. This is radio, right? I had this chef on from France, and I said, bring your stuff. We're going to do this live. And the show was live. It was an hour show. And it was called Conversations. And he brought, you know, and I always loved the impact of like radio theater, because, I mean, your mind can just, here we go back to the mind, right? your mind can just do some crazy creative things, and people can imagine the chef cooking the stuff, and like he was not trying to, he was explaining how the thing was cooking and how it tasted, and it was just so much fun. But those were the days I spent in Dallas and Fort Worth. Then my wife at the time was a flight attendant with United Airlines. I started getting into marketing. I got out of radio and television, got into marketing, and then she was a flight attendant, was based in Miami. She's from Brazil and would always fly the Brazil routes. And my marketing was mostly done at the time when the internet started up around 95, 96 or so. And I said, you know what? We don't have to live in Dallas, Fort Worth, and you have to fly all the way down to Miami to start your day. We can move closer to Miami. So we did move to Naples here in 1998. And the reason why we chose Naples, it's a crazy story, is that we started looking around the Miami area, North Miami, Lauderdale, Hollywood, and I bet I'm getting burnt, right? But it's okay. I put on some sunshine lotion. I'll put some more on. Is because a friend of hers said, before you guys make a decision on that, what I want you to do is take a look at this place called Naples. Sorry about that. My papers were flowing away. Never heard of it before, right? So, yeah, there we go. So Naples, Naples, what's Naples? We got a rental car and we drove over here and just fell in love with the place. If you've never been to Naples, I encourage you to put it on your list of places to visit. It's just so nice. I mean, you can see, right? Fell in love with the place, never left. Even though we broke up in 2013, she now lives in Wellington, which is on the other coast. It's a beautiful town too. Has a nice husband, and they have a beautiful home there. And so anyway, I want to talk to you a little bit about marketing. That is my background. And we were talking about the way people monetize their stuff online. I was thinking that if you ever need or get to a place where you need somebody to, we've got a few minutes left, need somebody to help you with your marketing online, if you want to grow your Instagram or don't know how to run those Facebook ads that would help your business grow, or if you do any kind of like consulting or anything like that. Sometimes it's hard to run those type of ads on Facebook because they get like suspended because, if it's a medical type thing or anything has to do with diet, or if you're trying to prove that somebody can lose weight or do like that, those ads usually, they don't get approved because there's been so many people that do like these comparison ads, and you know how they do that, where it's just like impossible that you could go from this to this, and then Facebook goes, no, we're not allowing you to do any more of those kind of ads. So those things, possibly you're going through something like that. If you're a physician, it may be a tough road getting people into your practice, and you can be anywhere in the world and I'll help you out. And this will help me because I now have medical bills to pay for myself. And, if we can work together and team up, we can use like Facebook advertising, Google advertising, YouTube pre-roll ads to like get your business out there and let people know what you're doing. And, I guarantee my work, get people into your office. And, yeah. So you can DM me, in any way. I'm online all the time, as I said before. And on Instagram and also on Twitter, my handle is Naples Dave. Like my name, so the city of Naples, Dave, and then Dave. So at Naples Dave. And I'm on Facebook too. You can find me there too. So it's like everything's Naples Dave. Naples Dave at Gmail. So that's me. I got that name like early on. Or you can write me at davejackson.com too. I got that domain name like centuries ago. But I'd really love to help you, and I know I can. I've done this for like tons of different industries. I was working with real estate agents here for a long time, getting them leads. We got leads down to like $2 a lead. In real estate, that's like crazy, almost unheard of, especially in this market where things go for millions. So worked out really well. But anyway, I want to help you. You can help me, and that's one way that I can help pay for some of the stuff I got going on in my life. Insurance is great, but they always leave you with your little percentage that's left, and I got to take care of that stuff. So that's what I do. I know what you do. You do your stuff, and maybe we can make some kind of trade there as well. And because I know I've talked to several of you that want to do like nutritional consulting. You can think about that too. But yeah, if we can do like anything to help your business out, I'd be more than happy to work with you. So shoot me a message. All right, I'll be looking forward to that. Hey, thanks for joining me on this one. This has been a hot one for me, I'm telling you. But we got plenty done. You and I talked about fasting, talked about mindset. The name of the movie again is Heal, 2017. It was just put out a couple years ago. But it is interesting, it's fascinating how powerful. A lot of times we take it for granted, and we got this tool here, this toolkit, and we don't use it to its fullest. Subscribe to the channel if you like what you saw. Leave a comment below. And I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate my Twitter family. Oh, you guys are the best. And we'll see you next week. Also, on this channel, I leave videos like every single day. Almost every single day. So look for those, subscribe, and then hit the little bell, and you'll know when the new videos come, and then you can watch them. And I'd love your comments on them too as we grow this channel in my journey. All right. Thanks. Have a beautiful Saturday. Have a great weekend. Take care. Now I got to figure out how to turn this thing off, right? In the dark. And I do want to save it, so it says, are you sure you want to stop streaming? But I can't see the yes button.